October 14th, 2023. The Obsidian Room, New York City, 8:47 p.m. 3 seconds. That is how close Marcus Leone comes to signing away everything. His Mont Blanc pen hovers 3 millimeters above the signature line. $150 million in bearer bonds lay spread across table 9 like a feast for wolves. The paper is thick, expensive. It smells like old money and older secrets. Across from him sits Julian Reed, silver hair perfectly combed. Armani suit tailored to mathematical precision, the kind of man who has never been punched in the face. The kind of man who thinks intelligence is the same thing as invincibility. Reed smiles. It is the smile of a shark that has already tasted blood. The Obsidian Room is not a restaurant. It is a cathedral of wealth. Private dining rooms with bulletproof glass. Lighting so dim you cannot see the cameras. The cheapest bottle of wine costs more than most people make in a month. This is where empires are built, where fortunes change hands, where men like Marcus Leone conduct business that will never appear in any court filing. Marcus uncaps the pen. The sound is barely audible over the soft jazz drifting from hidden speakers. His bodyguard Victor stands at the door. 6'4", 260 pounds of muscle and loyalty, Victor has killed 11 men. Marcus knows because he gave the orders for 9 of them. The documents shimmer under the crystal chandelier. Certificado de Obligazione, Palermo, 1947, bearer bonds from the Reconstruction era. Whoever holds the paper owns the gold. 150 million payable upon presentation in Zurich. Perfect, untraceable, exactly what Marcus needs. He has 150 million in cash that needs to disappear before November. The FBI is circling his logistics company like vultures over roadkill. They know something. They always know something. But knowing and proving are different animals. These bonds are the solution. Clean, historical, legitimate on paper. Marcus places the tip of the pen against the transfer line. Then he hears 5 words in a dialect so rare that only 3 people in this room understand it. A waitress leans over his shoulder, water pitcher trembling in her hand. Her voice is barely a whisper, but the words cut through the air like a blade through silk. Questo è falso. This is fake. Marcus freezes. The pen hovers. Time stretches. The jazz keeps playing, but he cannot hear it anymore. All he hears is the hammering of his own pulse. Julian Reed blinks. His smile falters for half a second. Then it returns, wider, more aggressive. Excuse me? Reed's voice has an edge now. We are in a meeting. Marcus does not move. He does not look at Reed. He looks at the waitress, really looks at her, for the first time. She is young, 24 or 25. Dark hair pulled back so tight it looks painful. Uniform 2 sizes too big. Brown eyes wide with terror. She knows what she has done. She knows who he is. Everyone in this restaurant knows who Marcus Leone is, the Teflon Prince. That is what the FBI calls him. 34 years old. Wharton MBA runs the largest shipping empire on the East Coast. Legitimate cargo by day. The syndicate's cash flow by night. Untouchable. Brilliant. Terrifying. And this waitress just called his $150 million deal a forgery. In Sicilian. What did you say? Marcus asks. His voice is low, calm. The kind of calm that precedes violence. The waitress swallows. Her throat moves. She is terrified. But she does not run. I said it's fake. English now. Her voice shakes, but the words are clear. This document, it's a forgery. Reed laughs. It is harsh. Performative. This is absurd, Dante. Your staff is drunk. Get her out of here. Marcus does not take his eyes off the woman. Put the water down. She sets the pitcher on the table. It makes a small clink against the crystal. Explain, Marcus says. You have 10 seconds. The restaurant noise fades into background static. All Marcus hears is this woman's breathing. Fast, shallow, adrenaline breathing. She points at the document with a shaking finger. The document is dated 1947, issued in Palermo. The text is written in formal bureaucratic dialect. Reed scoffs. So it's a legal document. What's your point? No, the waitress gains speed. Her scholar brain takes over. In 1947, regional administrative documents of Sicily didn't use standard Italian for bearer rights clauses. They used Sicilian legal vernacular because of the separatist statutes. She looks at Marcus. Those brown eyes are no longer terrified. They are certain. It should say P guarantee duty in the Palermitano syntax of that year. This says a garanzia duty. That phrase didn't exist in legal Sicilian until 1952. Silence. The kind of silence that feels like falling. Reed's face has gone pale. A single bead of sweat appears at his temple. The waitress continues, and the stamp at the bottom, it says Regione Siciliana. But in 1947, during the provisional government, the official stamp was Alto Commissariato. This stamp wasn't created until 5 years later. Her voice drops to a whisper. Whoever made this used Google Translate and Wikipedia. They didn't check the regional archives. Marcus turns his head slowly. He looks at the polished piece of paper. Then he looks at Julian Reed. Reed is no longer smiling. The color has drained from his face. His left hand trembles slightly. It is a small movement. Most people would not notice. But Marcus Leone has spent his entire life reading people. Fear has a specific signature. Is she right, Julian? She's a waitress, Marcus. Reed stands. His chair scrapes against the floor. Too loud. Desperate. She's lying. She's probably working for the Corsicans. This is insane. I represent the oldest banking families in Europe. My reputation. Marcus moves. He does not think about it, does not plan it. His body acts on pure instinct. One moment he is sitting, the next he has lunged across the table. His hands close around Reed's lapels. $3,000 suit crumples in his grip. He slams Reed back down into the booth. The table shakes. The water pitcher tips, spills. Ice water floods across the bearer bonds, and the ink begins to bleed. Real vintage ink binds to fiber. It becomes part of the paper. This ink is modern. Inkjet dye. It runs like watercolor, purple and black bleeding together, turning the priceless historical document into a blurry mess. Marcus stares at the ruined paper. Then he looks at Reed. Inkjet. His voice is soft, deadly. You tried to sell me a $150 million lie printed on an Epson? Reed gasps for air. His eyes bulge. Marcus, please, I can explain. I was forced. They said they would kill me if I didn't. Who? The broker. Reed is crying now, actual tears running down his face. I don't know his real name. He contacted me 6 months ago. Said if I didn't help, he would expose my offshore accounts. I had no choice. Marcus releases him, shoves him back with disgust. He stands, smooths his Tom Ford jacket, signals to Victor. His bodyguard moves instantly. So does Leo, the second guard, who has been standing near the bar. Both men are professional, silent, efficient. Take Mr. Reed to the kitchen, Marcus says. His voice is void of emotion. He has a lot of explaining to do. Use the meat locker. It's soundproof. Reed tries to scramble away. Victor catches him by the collar. Leo grabs his legs. Reed kicks, screams. The other diners freeze. Forks suspended in midair. Nobody moves, nobody helps. This is the Obsidian Room. People who eat here know better than to interfere. Marcus watches them drag Reed through the kitchen doors. Then he turns back to the waitress. She is hugging a tray to her chest, trying to make herself smaller, invisible, the way prey animals freeze when the predator looks their way. Marcus steps closer. He towers over her. 6'2", sandalwood and gun oil, power and violence wrapped in expensive fabric. What is your name? Elena. It comes out as a squeak. Elena. He tests the word. You speak Palermitano dialect perfectly. You know the history of the 1947 separatist movement, and you serve steaks for minimum wage. She stammers. I was a student. Was. Marcus looks at the ruined documents, looks back at her. You just saved me $150 million, Elena, and you humiliated a man who has been lying to me for 6 months. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out a business card. Black, gold-embossed lion. Slips it into her apron pocket. Shift is over, Marcus says. Come with me. What? Elena takes a step back. I can't. My manager. I just bought the restaurant, Marcus says. Does not break eye contact. Your manager works for me now. And so do you. He turns, walks toward the exit. Does not look back. Let's go, Elena. We have to find out who hired Mr. Reed before they realize he failed. Elena stands frozen. The kitchen door swings shut. She can still hear Reed screaming, muffled, distant, the sound of a man who knows what is coming. She looks at the card in her pocket, black with a gold lion. She has 2 choices. Run out the back door. Hope Marcus Leone forgets she exists, or follow the most dangerous man in New York into the rain. She thinks about her father, burning alive in Palermo, screaming for help that never came. She thinks about the man who did it, the broker, the ghost she has hunted for 10 years. Julian Reed said the name, the broker, which means Marcus Leone can find him. Elena takes off her apron, throws it on the wet table, follows Marcus into the night. 10 years earlier, Palermo, Sicily, October 11th, 2013. Elena Torres is 14 years old when she learns that knowledge can kill you. She lives in a small house 3 blocks from the Banco di Sicilia archives. Her father, Dr. Antonio Torres, is an archivist. He spends his days in climate-controlled rooms surrounded by centuries of financial history, preserving the past, making sure it is never forgotten. He is a good man, patient, kind. He teaches Elena to read Latin when she is 7, Greek when she is 9. By the time she is 12, she speaks 4 languages. Her father says knowledge is the only inheritance that matters. On the night of October 8th, an American comes to their door. Elena remembers him clearly. Tall, well-dressed, expensive watch. He speaks Italian with a slight accent, too formal, like someone who learned from books instead of conversation. He has a leather case. Inside are 3 documents, bearer bonds from 1947. He says he inherited them from his grandfather, needs them authenticated for an estate sale. Antonio takes the documents to his study. Elena brings him tea, watches him work. He uses a magnifying glass, checks the watermarks, compares the stamps to reference books, takes detailed notes. 3 hours later, he emerges. They're real, he tells the American. Extremely valuable. I would estimate between 40 and 60 million euros at auction. The American smiles, pays 5,000 euros in cash, takes his certificate of authentication. Leaves. 3 days later, he returns. This time he is not alone. He has 2 men with him, large, silent. They do not look like bankers. There's been a mistake, the American says. He is not smiling now. The bonds you authenticated, the buyers say they're forgeries. Antonio's face goes pale. That's impossible. I examined them personally. Every detail was correct. The American places a briefcase on the table, opens it. Inside are 3 bearer bonds. They look identical to the ones Antonio examined. But they are not. The paper is too white, the ink too fresh. Someone has made copies. Good copies, but not perfect. These are not the bonds I authenticated, Antonio says, his voice is shaking. You switched them. You showed me real bonds, got my certification, then replaced them with fakes. The American's smile returns. It is cold, predatory. Prove it. Antonio stands. Get out of my house. I'm calling the police. I wouldn't do that. The American nods to his men. One of them pulls out a can of gasoline. Elena is in her bedroom. She hears her father shouting, hears furniture breaking, smells something sharp and chemical. Gasoline. She runs to her door. Her father sees her. His eyes go wide. Elena, run! The cellar! Go! She hesitates. Just for a second, 1 second of confusion, of not understanding. Then she sees the lighter, sees the flame. Go! She runs, down the hall, through the kitchen, the cellar stairs. Behind her she hears the whoosh of ignition, feels the heat, hears her father screaming. The cellar has a window, small, narrow. She climbs through, cuts her hands on broken glass, drops into the alley behind their house. She turns back. The house is engulfed, flames pouring from every window. Her father's study, his archives, everything burning. She can still hear him. For almost a minute, then silence. Neighbors gather. Someone calls the fire department. Police arrive. Elena sits on the curb, wrapped in a stranger's jacket, watching her entire world turn to ash. A detective interviews her 3 days later. He is kind, gentle, shows her police sketches. None of them match the American's face. She tries to describe him, but trauma has blurred the details. Tall, well-dressed, expensive watch. It could be 10,000 men. The detective writes in his notebook, there have been similar cases, always bearer bonds, always the same pattern. We call him the broker. He finds desperate men, offers them a way to liquidate old assets, but it's always a scam. Will you catch him? Elena asks. The detective closes his notebook. We've been trying for 15 years. He does not catch him. Elena spends the next year in a group home. Then her mother's cousin in Queens agrees to take her. Elena arrives in New York at 15. No English, no friends, just a suitcase and a promise. She will learn everything there is to know about document forgery. She will study until she can spot a fake from across a room. And one day she will find the broker. She will make him pay. Present day, New York City, July 2023. Elena Torres has a problem. Actually, she has several problems. But the biggest one is sitting in a box under her bed, her father's personal diary. She found it 3 months ago, sewn into the lining of the suitcase she brought from Sicily. She has carried it for 10 years without knowing. The diary is thin, leather-bound. Most of it is routine. Archive cataloging, restaurant recommendations, soccer scores. But there are 3 pages at the end that make her hands shake every time she reads them. The pages are dated September 2013, 1 month before the fire. Her father had been investigating the broker, following a trail of fraudulent bearer bonds across Europe. He had discovered something, a pattern. The broker came to New York every autumn, always stayed for 3 weeks, always frequented high-end restaurants, always targeted wealthy men with questionable business practices. He seeks hungry wolves, her father wrote in Italian. Men desperate enough to believe a miracle, smart enough to know the bonds could be real, greedy enough to not ask questions. Antonio had compiled a list of restaurants. The Obsidian Room was circled 3 times. Elena sits in her tiny Astoria apartment. It is July. Rent is due Bajas in 6 days. She has $314 in her checking account. No job, no PhD, no future. 3 months ago, Professor Vincent Cross expelled her from Columbia. Academic dishonesty, he claimed. Plagiarism on her thesis about Sicilian administrative dialects. It was a lie. Every word of that thesis was hers. But Cross had tenure, and she had nothing. She tried to fight it, appealed to the department. They sided with Cross. She hired a lawyer with money she did not have. The lawyer said it would take years, cost $50,000 minimum. Elena dropped the case, stopped answering emails, disappeared. Now she works double shifts at a diner in Queens, serves eggs and coffee to construction workers, pretends she does not have a master's degree in linguistics. But at night, she reads her father's diary, studies the restaurant list, researches the ownership. The Obsidian Room is members only. Reservations booked 6 months in advance. She cannot afford to eat there, cannot even get past the host stand unless she works there. Elena opens her laptop. The Obsidian Room website has a careers page. One listing, waitstaff needed, immediate hire. She stares at the application for 20 minutes. This is crazy. The broker might not even be real anymore. He could be dead, retired, in prison somewhere, but he might not be. And if there is even a chance, even the smallest possibility that she could find him, she fills out the application, submits it, does not expect a response. The restaurant calls her 4 hours later. September 3rd, 2023. Elena starts work at the Obsidian Room on a Monday. The manager is a thin man named Gerard, who looks at her like she is already a disappointment. Table service only, he says, no questions, no conversation, invisible is ideal. Understood. Our clientele values discretion. You see nothing, you hear nothing, you remember nothing. Clear? Perfectly clear. Gerard hands her a uniform. It is 2 sizes too big. Good. She wants to be invisible. The first week is brutal. 12-hour shifts. Her feet bleed through her shoes. The other servers ignore her. The kitchen staff mock her accent. She keeps her head down, does the work, collects tips, and she watches. Table 9 is always reserved on Tuesday nights. 8 p.m. The name on the reservation changes, but the man does not. Marcus Leone, shipping magnate. Forbes profiled him last year. The Modern Medici, how Marcus Leone built a billion-dollar empire before 35. The article was careful, diplomatic, but Elena reads between the lines. Leone Logistics ships legitimate cargo, but there are questions, whispers. The FBI has audited him twice, found nothing. He is exactly the type of man the broker would target. Wealthy, powerful, operating in gray areas, hungry for ways to move money. Elena starts watching his patterns. He always sits facing the entrance, always orders the same wine, always has 2 bodyguards, one at the door, one at the bar. He conducts business over steak, sometimes alone, sometimes with men who look like lawyers, sometimes with men who definitely are not lawyers. For 6 weeks, Elena watches, waits, learns his schedule, his preferences, the way he holds a knife, the way he looks at people, like he is calculating their value, their use, their threat level. She has never been this close to real power before. It is intoxicating and terrifying. On October 14th, everything changes. Marcus Leone arrives at 8 p.m. But tonight he is not alone. Tonight he is meeting someone new, a man Elena has never seen before. Silver hair, expensive suit, confident smile. Gerard assigns her to their section. Table 9, do not screw this up. Elena approaches with water. Her hands are steady, She has served hundreds of tables. This is just another shift. But then she sees the documents on the table, and her entire world tilts. Certificado de Obligazione, Palermo, 1947. The exact same bonds that killed her father. Her training takes over. She pours water, does not react, does not speak, but her eyes scan the text, reading, analyzing. Decades of study compressed into seconds. The syntax is wrong, the stamp is wrong. The paper might fool a banker, but it will not fool her. Marcus Leone reaches for his pen, uncaps it, places the tip against the signature line. Elena has 1 second to decide. Stay silent. Let him sign. Follow the silver-haired man when he leaves. Try to track him back to the broker. Or intervene. Save a criminal. Expose the forgery. And hope Marcus Leone does not kill her for embarrassing him. She thinks about her father, burning, screaming. Alone, she thinks about justice. She leans in close. Close enough to smell Marcus Leone's cologne. Close enough to see the individual threads in his jacket. And she whispers 5 words in the language her father taught her. Questo è falso. This is fake. The pen stops. Time freezes. And Elena Torres steps off a cliff with no idea if there is ground below or just endless falling. But she jumps anyway, because some things are worth the risk. Some truths are worth dying for. And she has been invisible long enough. The Obsidian Room, kitchen, meat locker, 11:47 p.m. Julian Reed is zip-tied to a metal chair. His $3,000 suit is soaked with sweat and something darker. Blood from his nose. Victor broke it 20 minutes ago. Just a tap. Professional, controlled. Enough to make the point. Marcus Leone stands in the doorway, arms crossed, face carved from stone. He has not said a word in 15 minutes. Just watched. Let the silence do the work. Fear is more effective than pain. Fear lives in the imagination. Pain eventually ends. Elena stands behind Marcus. She wanted to stay in the dining room. Wanted to pretend this part was not happening. But Marcus told her to come. You need to see this, he said. You need to understand what world you just entered. So she watches, tries not to look at Reed's face, tries not to hear him whimpering, tries not to think about what her father's last moments were like. She fails at all 3. Who hired you, Julian? Marcus finally speaks. His voice is quiet, conversational, like they are discussing wine pairings. Reed sobs, actual tears running down his cheeks, mixing with blood. I told you, the broker, I don't know his real name. I swear to God, Marcus, I swear. You swear to God. Marcus steps closer. The same God you swore to when you told me those bonds were authenticated by the Banco di Sicilia? That God? Please, tell me about the broker. Reed's words tumble out. Desperate, frantic. He contacted me 6 months ago. Email, encrypted. Said he had a business opportunity. Said I could make $20 million if I helped him with one deal. What deal? He wanted me to sell bearer bonds to someone specific. Someone in New York, someone with cash flow problems. Reed looks up at Marcus, eyes pleading. He knew everything about you. Your shipping routes, your offshore accounts, the FBI audit coming in November, everything. Marcus does not react. His face remains perfectly still, but Elena sees his jaw tighten. Barely, just a fraction. He said the bonds were perfect, Reed continues. Said they would pass any inspection. All I had to do was make the introduction. Get you to sign $20 million for one night's work. And when I signed, Marcus asks, what happened then? I don't know, I swear I don't. He said there would be an extraction team, flight out of Teterboro. I was supposed to be in Monaco by sunrise. Victor steps forward, pulls a phone from Reed's jacket pocket. We cracked this 2 hours ago. He wiped the text, but voice memos recovered. Marcus takes the phone, presses play. A recording fills the cold room. Reed's voice, nervous. The fish is on the hook. Casaro suspects nothing. The paper is aged perfectly. Then another voice, distorted, mechanical. But the rhythm underneath is distinct. Do not underestimate him. Cross just whimpers. If he smells the ink, you are dead. Make the exchange. Get to the extraction point. Teterboro Airport. Flight 774. Marcus replays it once, twice, 3 times. Elena closes her eyes, focuses on the distorted voice, strips away their electronic filter, isolates the vowels, the cadence, the way certain consonants slide together. French, she whispers. Marcus stops the recording, looks at her. You're sure? Positive. Elena steps closer. He's speaking English, but the prosody is French, Southern, Marseille or Nice. And he used the word extraction. That's military terminology. Marcus hands the phone back to Victor. Who do we know in Marseille? Victor frowns. The Corsicans hold that territory, but they don't usually interfere with New York families. Unless someone paid them, Marcus finishes. Elena's fingers twitch. She wants a keyboard, wants data. Flight 774, Teterboro. We can track the tail number. Marcus looks at her for a long moment, then nods. Victor, take Mr. Reed somewhere secure. We'll deal with him later. He turns to Elena. You're coming with me. Where? My office. You said you wanted to find the broker. Marcus walks toward the door. Then let's find him. Aurelius Tower, Midtown Manhattan, 12:30 a.m. The car ride is 20 minutes of silence. Marcus sits across from Elena in the back of an armored Mercedes. The interior is soundproofed so effectively that the rain battering the windows sounds like a distant memory. He makes 3 phone calls, all in Italian, all coded. Elena understands every word. He is ordering people to search Reed's apartment, bribe telecom companies for call records, pull surveillance footage from the restaurant for the past 6 months. He issues execution orders with the same tone someone might use to order pizza. Elena shivers, not from cold, from the realization of what she has done. She exposed a forgery to save a man who kills people. She is sitting in a car with someone the FBI calls the Teflon Prince. She is complicit now, involved. There is no going back. The car pulls into an underground garage. Concrete, fluorescent lights, security cameras every 10 feet. They bypass the main lobby. Take a private elevator that requires a retinal scan to activate. The doors open on the top floor. Elena steps out and stops. The penthouse is not a home. It is a fortress suspended in glass and steel. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the Manhattan grid. The city spreads below like a circuit board. Millions of lights, millions of lives, all of them smaller than this room. The furniture is minimal, black leather, chrome, sharp angles, everything designed for function, not comfort. On one wall hangs a single piece of art, a Caravaggio, the original. Elena recognizes it from her art history elective, worth somewhere north of $80 million. Marcus walks to a wet bar, pours 2 glasses of amber liquid, brings one to her. Brandy, drink it, stops the shaking. Elena takes the glass, does not drink. Am I a prisoner? That depends. Marcus sits in an armchair, leans forward, elbows on knees. Predator posture. Who are you, Elena Torres? I told you, I'm a student. You were a student. Marcus pulls out a tablet, swipes through screens. My team ran your background while we drove here. Want to know what they found? Elena's stomach drops. No birth certificate in New York. No social media. No credit history before 2014. You appeared at age 15, enrolled in Columbia with a full scholarship, maintained a 4.0 GPA in linguistics until 3 months ago, when Professor Vincent Cross expelled you for plagiarism. He looks up. You don't exist before 18. You're a ghost, just like Julian Reed, which makes me wonder, was tonight a setup? Did you stage the intervention to gain my trust? Elena slams the glass down on the marble table. The sound echoes. Rage overrides fear. I saved you because I hate liars, she snaps. And I know about those bonds because my father died authenticating them. Silence. Marcus goes completely still. Explain. Elena looks away, out at the rain-streaked windows, at the city that swallowed her whole when she was 15 and broken. My father was an archivist in Palermo. He spent his life preserving history. 10 years ago, a man came to him, an American, wanted authentication for bearer bonds, war era. My father validated them, gave him a certificate. The man switched the bonds after, replaced the real ones with forgeries. She takes a shaky breath. When the buyers realized they had fakes, they didn't go after the American. They went after the authenticator. Burned our house down with my father inside. I was 14. Escaped through the cellar window. Her hands are fists now, nails cutting crescents into her palms. I came to America, changed my name, promised myself I would learn everything about document forgery, so nobody could ever lie to me again. She looks back at Marcus, eyes burning. I didn't save you for you, Mr. Leone. I saved you because Julian Reed is exactly the kind of man who killed my father. And because he said a name I've been hunting for 10 years, the broker. Marcus studies her. really studies her, looking for the lie, the performance. But there is only grief, raw, unpolished. The one thing you cannot fake. The man who killed your father, Marcus says quietly. The police file mentioned the broker? Just a nickname, no face, no name. Elena's voice cracks. No justice. Marcus stands, walks to the window, looks out at his empire. I've heard the name. Underground legend. A middleman, connects the cartels to the banks, helps dirty money become clean. He's been operating for at least 20 years. He turns back to her. If Julian Reed was working for the broker, then we have a common enemy. Elena. He extends his hand. You need protection. I need a forensic document expert who isn't on the FBI payroll. The job pays $10,000 a week. You live here. You don't leave this building without Victor. And you help me find the broker. Elena looks at his hand. This is a deal with the devil. She knows it. But it is also her only chance at the truth, at revenge, at finally keeping the promise she made to her father's ghost. She stands, shakes his hand. His grip is warm, solid, certain. I have conditions, she says. Marcus raises an eyebrow. You're in no position to negotiate, but amuse me. I want access to your archives, every document, every file. When we find this man, I want to be the one to translate the evidence. I want to know he's finished. Marcus considers, then nods once. Done. Welcome to the family, Elena. Family. The word sits strange in her mouth. She has not had family in 10 years. Marcus shows her to a guest room. It is larger than her entire Astoria apartment. King bed with hotel linens. Ensuite bathroom with heated floors. A window view that probably costs more per month than she makes in a year. Rest, Marcus says from the doorway. Tomorrow we start hunting. But Elena does not rest. She lies in the massive bed, stares at the ceiling, listens to the rain, and wonders what her father would think. Would he be proud that she found a lead? Or horrified that she made a deal with a monster? At 3 a.m. she gives up on sleep, wraps herself in a robe, walks out to the living room. Marcus is there, standing at the window, whiskey in hand, staring at his city. Can't sleep either, he asks without turning. I keep hearing Julian Reed screaming. You'll get used to it. Should I? Elena moves closer. You hurt people for money. Marcus takes a long drink. Silence stretches. Then quietly, I inherited this empire. My father built it, brick by brick, body by body. I was 10 when he first brought me to a collection, made me watch what happens when people don't pay, said I needed to understand power. He finally looks at her. I've been trying to make it legitimate for 12 years. Clean money, real investments. But the family resists, the old guard. They like the blood, the fear. And getting out is harder than getting in. Then why stay? Because leaving gets you killed and taking your family with you. He turns back to the window. I'm trapped, Elena, just in a very expensive cage. It is the first honest thing he has said, the first crack in the armor. And Elena realizes they are not that different. Both trapped by the past, both trying to escape ghosts. We'll find him, she says, the broker. And when we do, maybe you get your freedom. Maybe I get my justice. Marcus looks at her. Something shifts in his eyes, not quite trust, but recognition, like calling to like. Maybe, he says. They stand together at the window, two damaged people, watching the city sleep, neither of them knowing that in 6 weeks they will be willing to die for each other. The War Room, Aurelius Tower, October 15th to October 20th. Elena does not sleep much over the next 5 days. The guest room becomes just a place to shower and change clothes. The real work happens in what Marcus calls the War Room. It is a soundproofed office on the north side of the penthouse. No windows, just servers and monitors and enough computing power to run a small country. Marcus gives her unlimited access, credit cards that have no limit, security clearances that open doors most people do not know exist. On day 1, Victor brings Julian Reed's phone. Cracked the encryption. The broker wiped most of it, but we recovered voice memos, email fragments. Enough to build a profile. Elena puts on headphones, listens to the distorted voice 17 times, runs it through audio software, strips away the electronic filter layer by layer. Underneath is a man, late 50s, early 60s, native French speaker, military background based on vocabulary choices, uses phrases like extraction point and operational security. Not banker language, soldier language. She pulls up linguistic databases, compares regional dialects. Marseille fits. But it could also be Toulon, anywhere along the southern coast. He's ex-military, Elena tells Marcus. Probably French Foreign Legion, operating out of the Mediterranean. Marcus calls someone, speaks rapid Italian, hangs up. The Corsicans run Marseille, but they don't usually interfere with American families unless someone hires them. Someone with serious money. On day 2, Elena hacks the Teterboro airport flight registry. It takes her 4 hours and 3 cups of coffee that's so strong they could strip paint. But she finds it. Flight 774, tail number N459GH, registered to a Delaware shell company. Blue Heron Holdings. She runs the company through every database she can access. Ownership is buried under 6 layers of paperwork, but she follows the thread. One corporation leads to another, which leads to a trust, which leads to a name. Senator Arthur Sterling. Elena stares at the screen. No, that can't be right. Marcus looks over her shoulder, sees the name. His face goes dark. Blue Heron. Fuck. You know it? Senator Sterling chairs the banking committee. He's supposed to be cracking down on money laundering. Marcus's voice is deadly quiet. He's supposed to be one of the good guys. Elena's mind is racing, connecting pieces. This wasn't about stealing your money. It was a trap. If you had signed those bonds, Sterling would have proof you were moving illegal capital. He could have raided you the moment the money transferred. Marcus nods slowly. The FBI audit in November. Sterling probably pushed for it, needed evidence, the bonds were bait. He looks at Elena with new intensity. Not just respect, something deeper. You didn't just save me money, Elena. You saved me from federal prison, possibly my life. He leans down, places his hands on the arms of her chair, traps her, his face is inches from hers. She can see flecks of gold in his dark eyes, can smell his cologne, sandalwood and something darker. We need to go on the offensive, Marcus says. Sterling is hosting a gala Saturday night. Metropolitan Museum, charity fundraiser. So, Marcus smirks, dangerous. So we're going. Julian Reed is missing. Sterling doesn't know the deal failed yet. He thinks I'm ruined. I want to see his face when I walk through the front door. Elena's breath catches. I can't go alone. Looks suspicious. I need a date. Someone who can blend in. Who speaks 3 languages. Who can spot a liar from across a room. He reaches out, tucks a strand of hair behind her ear. His touch is electric. Get ready, Elena. You're going to need a dress. The days blur together after that. Elena divides her time between research and trying not to think about Marcus. About the way he looks at her when he thinks she is not watching. About the way her heart speeds up when he enters a room. They work late into the nights, sharing takeout, comparing notes. She tells him about growing up in Palermo, the archive smell, her father's patient voice teaching her to read medieval Latin. Marcus tells her about his father, about being groomed for violence, about watching his first execution at 12 years old. Did you want this life? Elena asked one night. 3 a.m., both of them exhausted. I wanted to make my father proud. Marcus stares at his whiskey. By the time I realized what that meant, it was too late. Their hands brush reaching for the same document. Electric current. They both freeze. Look at each other. The air between them changes. Charges. Marcus pulls back first. I'm sorry, you work for me. This is inappropriate. I know, Elena whispers. But neither of them moves. The moment stretches. Breaks. They go back to work. Pretend it did not happen. But something has shifted. The walls are thinner now. On day 5, Victor enters the war room. Boss, Sterling's gala is Saturday. Security will be tight. Marcus nods. Make the arrangements. We're going. Elena's stomach flips. Marcus, I'm a waitress. I don't know how to talk to senators. He looks at her, really looks at her. You're the smartest person I've ever met. You'll be fine. Just be yourself, observe, translate, and hold my arm. That's it? That's it. He stands. Victor will handle security. I'll handle Sterling. You just need to look beautiful and help me spot the lies. Beautiful. The word hangs in the air. Elena realizes this is happening. She is going to a gala at the Metropolitan Museum. On the arm of a man who kills people. To confront a United States senator who tried to frame him. Her life has become unrecognizable. Saturday, October 21st. Preparation. The transformation of Elena Torres takes 6 hours. Marcus does not send her to a salon. He brings the salon to the penthouse. A team of 3 arrives at noon. Hair, makeup, wardrobe. They work with the focused intensity of surgeons. Elena sits in front of a mirror, watches herself disappear. The stylist cuts 4 inches off her hair, styles it in soft waves that cascade over one shoulder. The makeup artist paints her face, not heavy, just enough to sharpen her features, make her eyes look larger, her lips fuller. Then comes the dress. It is midnight blue silk, custom made based on measurements they took 3 days ago. The fabric clings to every curve. A slit runs up her left thigh, dangerously high, elegant but lethal. The jewelry is last, a diamond choker that sits against her throat. Elena touches it. Cool, heavy, probably worth more than most people's houses. It contains a microphone, Marcus says from the doorway. Elena jumps. She did not hear him enter. He is wearing a tuxedo. Tom Ford. Perfect fit, hair slicked back, clean shaven. He looks like he stepped out of a magazine. Powerful, dangerous, devastating. Victor will be in a van outside, Marcus continues, walking toward her. Listening, if you get into trouble, say the word champagne. He'll come get you. What kind of trouble? The kind where people try to hurt you. He stands behind her, both of them reflected in the mirror. They look like a couple from a different world. Dark, beautiful, dangerous. I'm nervous, Elena admits. Good. Nervous keeps you sharp. Marcus places his hands on her shoulders, meets her eyes in the mirror. You're smarter than everyone in that room. You have nothing to prove. Just be yourself. Elena stares at their reflection. 6 weeks ago, she was serving eggs in Queens. Tonight, she is going to the Metropolitan Museum on the arm of the most dangerous man in New York. Life is strange. Metropolitan Museum of Art, 8:15 p.m. The museum is closed to the public, transformed into a glittering ballroom. The Temple of Dendor glows under purple lighting. Waiters in white jackets circulate with trays of champagne and caviar. The air smells like expensive perfume and older money. When Marcus Leone walks through the entrance with Elena on his arm, the room goes quiet. Not completely silent, but a ripple of stillness spreads outward. Heads turn, conversations pause, people stare. Elena feels every eye on her, judging, calculating, wondering who she is, how she got here, what she wants. Marcus walks with easy confidence, like he owns the room. Maybe he does. His hand rests on the small of her back, possessive, protective. There, he murmurs, nodding toward a group near the Egyptian statues. Senator Arthur Sterling, large man, red face, expensive tuxedo stretched tight across his belly. He is laughing at something. Loud, performative. The laugh of a man who has never been told no. Marcus guides Elena toward him. The crowd parts, lets them through. Sterling turns, sees Marcus. His face goes through 3 emotions in 2 seconds. Shock, fear, confusion. Then the mask slams down. Professional smile, extended hand. Mr. Leone, Sterling's voice is too loud. I didn't expect to see you here. I heard you were tied up with business. Business is booming, Senator. Marcus shakes his hand, just long enough to be polite. I'd like you to meet my fiancée, Elena. Fiancée, the word is a gunshot. Elena keeps her face smooth, extends her hand. A pleasure, Senator. Sterling takes her hand, his palm is sweaty, clammy. Fiancé, I didn't know you were settling down, Leone. Elena is special. Marcus smiles, sharp, dangerous. She has an incredible eye for detail. Recently helped me avoid a very bad investment, some counterfeit bonds from 1947. Can you imagine someone tried to pass them off as real? Sterling goes pale, actually pale. The red drains from his face like water from a tub. The market is full of sharks, he stammers, laughs nervously. You have to be careful. Indeed, Elena adds, voice sweet, innocent. You never know when a blue heron might fly into your engine. Sterling drops her hand, stares at her, terrified. He knows. He knows that she knows. Excuse me, he mutters. I need a drink. He walks away, fast, almost running. Elena watches him go, then tracks his sight line. He is looking at someone, seeking approval, or maybe instruction. A man in a gray suit, standing by a marble pillar, distinguished, silver hair, wire-rimmed glasses. He watches the exchange with cold calculation. Elena's heart stops. She knows that face. Marcus, she whispers. Her voice does not sound like her own. I need to sit down. What's wrong? She cannot speak, cannot breathe. The room tilts, goes sideways. Marcus grips her waist, steady. Elena, talk to me. That man, by the pillar, gray suit. Her words come out broken, fractured. That's Professor Cross, my advisor, the one who expelled me. Marcus looks, casual, does not stare. The dean from Columbia? He taught historical economics, European post-war finance. Elena's mind is racing, connections forming like neurons firing. He's the expert on Reconstruction-era bearer bonds. He didn't just hire someone to make the fakes, he designed them. Marcus tightens his grip. The broker works for him. He is the broker, Elena realizes, horror washing cold through her veins. He expelled me because my thesis was on 1947 Sicilian bonds. I would have recognized his work. The music stops. The lights dim slightly. A voice over the speakers. Smooth, educated, familiar. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention. Professor Vincent Cross stands at a podium, microphone in hand, smiling, grandfatherly, kind, the mask he shows the world. We have special guests tonight. He looks directly at Marcus and Elena across the room, holds eye contact. Mr. Marcus Leone and his charming companion. I believe a toast is in order. He raises his glass. Everyone else follows. A sea of crystal, catching light. Elena's phone vibrates in her clutch. She pulls it out. Unknown number. Text message. I know you are wearing a wire, Elena Torres. Walk to the east exit alone, or I release the video of your father's death to the press. You have 60 seconds. Elena gasps, looks up. Professor Cross gives her a subtle nod. He has a video of her father dying, of the American who killed him, the proof she has spent 10 years searching for. Elena, Marcus senses something wrong. What is it? Bathroom. She pulls away from him. I'll be right back. Not now, something is wrong. Please, she is already moving, into the crowd, toward the east corridor. Marcus reaches for her. Elena. But she is gone, disappearing into the sea of tuxedos and gowns, walking straight into a trap, because the truth is more important than safety, because she needs to see her father's killer's face, because 10 years of grief and rage and helplessness have led to this moment. Marcus touches his earpiece. Victor, block all exits, nobody leaves, and get the car. We're going to have a talk with the professor. But Elena is already pushing through the heavy doors, into the dark hallway, into the Egyptian wing's service corridor, where the cameras do not reach, where the music fades to nothing. She is not met by Professor Cross. She is met by the cold barrel of a gun pressed against her forehead. Hello, my dear student. Cross's voice comes from the shadows. Two men in tactical gear flank him. Professional, armed. You always were too smart for your own good. Time for your final exam. Elena stares down the barrel, at the man who destroyed her life twice. Once when she was 14, once when she was 24. And she realizes, some knowledge costs everything. Metropolitan Museum of Art, Service Corridor, Egyptian Wing, 8:52 p.m. The gun barrel is cold against Elena's forehead. A perfect circle of steel pressed into skin. She can feel her pulse hammering against it. Each heartbeat, a small movement that might be her last. Professor Vincent Cross steps from the shadows. He looks exactly as she remembers. Distinguished, intellectual, wire-rimmed glasses catching the dim emergency lighting, gray suit perfectly tailored. He could be heading to a faculty meeting, not holding a woman at gunpoint. Two men flank him. Tactical gear, black, professional. They are not museum security. They are not even American based on their stance. Military-trained, European operators. Probably the same Corsican team that was supposed to extract Julian Reed. You should have stayed a waitress, Elena. Cross's voice is conversational. Disappointed, like she failed an exam. You had a quiet life, invisible, safe. Why did you have to interfere with my retirement fund? Elena's mouth is dry. Her voice comes out as a whisper. You killed him. I killed many people, my dear. You'll have to be more specific. My father, Antonio Torres, Palermo, 2013. Cross tilts his head, genuinely trying to remember. The archivist? Oh yes, he was quite stubborn. I offered him 10% of the take. Very generous. But he threatened to call the Carabinieri. Talked about duty and honor and preserving truth. He sighs. Boring virtues, they get people killed. Elena's hands are shaking, rage mixing with terror in her bloodstream. You burned him alive. I made an example. The market needed to understand, cross my path, and suffer consequences. He adjusts his glasses. Nothing personal, Elena, just business. One of the tactical operators steps forward, grabs Elena's arm, wrenches her shoulder. Pain shoots down to her fingertips. She gasps. Take her to the van, Cross says. We need to know how much she told Leone, what he knows, what he suspects. Then we clean up the mess. The operator drags her toward a service exit. Metal door, no windows, leading to the loading dock, where a vehicle is probably waiting, where she will disappear, where no one will find her body. Elena's mind races. The necklace, the microphone, Victor listening in the van outside. But she needs to trigger the code word, needs to say it naturally. If she just screams champagne, they will know. They will find the wire. They will kill her immediately. She stumbles, deliberately, falls against the corridor wall. The operator jerks her upright. Wait, Elena cries, her voice breaks, genuine terror mixing with performance. Please, Professor, I didn't tell him anything important. I just wanted the money. I needed I can help you. I can feed you information about Leone's operations. We can celebrate when this is over. Drink champagne in Paris. Whatever you want. Just please let me go. Cross stops walking, turns, looks at her with something like pity. Champagne? He laughs, dry, rasping. You think you can bribe me with fantasies? My dear child, you really are pathetic. But the word is out. 3 seconds of silence. Then the service door at the end of the corridor explodes inward. Not kicked. Breached. A shaped charge blows the hinges clean off. The metal door flies backward, crashes into the opposite wall with a sound like a car accident. Smoke floods the narrow hallway. Gray, arid, choking. Through the haze comes Marcus Leone. He is not holding a pistol. He is holding an MP5 submachine gun, and he is moving with the terrible efficiency of someone who has done this before. Many times. Victor is right behind him, both of them in tactical position. Trained, professional, predatory. Drop her, Marcus roars. His voice echoes off concrete, fills the space with violence. Cross's operators react instantly. Training takes over. The one holding Elena raises his weapon, tries to bring it to bear, but Marcus is faster. Has already calculated the angles. The sight lines, the kill shots, 2 controlled bursts. Thip, 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 thip. Suppressed but not silent. The first operator drops. Body crumpling like someone cut his strings. Blood spray on the wall behind him. Arterial red. He is dead before he hits the floor. The second operator is smarter. He grabs Elena, uses her as a human shield, drags her backward, gun barrel pressed against her temple. Hard enough to bruise. Back off, the operator screams. Accent thick. French. I will kill her. I swear to God I will kill her. Marcus freezes, raises one hand, signals Victor to hold position. The fire alarm starts blaring. Strobes cutting through the smoke. Red light, white light, red light, pulsing like a heartbeat. The hallway falls into tense silence. Just the alarm, the breathing, the smell of cordite and fear. Marcus locks eyes with Elena, does not look at the operator, does not look at the gun. Just her. His face is completely calm, focused. He gives her a microscopic nod. Duck. Elena does not hesitate, does not think. She stomps her heel down onto the operator's instep with every ounce of strength. The stiletto punctures leather, finds bone. The operator howls. His grip loosens for half a second. Elena throws her body weight downward, becomes dead weight. Gravity pulls her toward the floor, and Marcus fires. It is an impossible shot, a single round passing through the space where Elena's shoulder was 1 second ago. Threading the needle, striking the operator directly between the eyes. His head snaps back. The gun falls from his hand. He drops like a marionette. Elena hits the concrete hard, palms scraping, knees bruising. She rolls onto her back, gasping, alive. Victor is already moving past Marcus, weapon up, scanning for additional threats. But Cross is gone. The corridor is empty except for 2 bodies and a terrified woman in a $10,000 dress. Marcus runs to Elena, drops to his knees beside her. His hands are on her face, checking for injuries. Blood, wounds. His touch is rough, desperate, not gentle. Are you hit? His voice is hoarse. Elena, look at me. Are you hit? I'm okay. She grabs his jacket, holds on. Her hands are shaking so badly she can barely grip the fabric. I'm okay. You are the most reckless, brilliant, infuriating woman I have ever met. He is yelling, but his eyes show only relief. Terrible, profound relief. You waited until you had a gun to your head to say the code word. It worked, didn't it? Marcus pulls her against his chest, crushes her to him. She can feel his heart hammering, feel his breath in her hair. For 5 seconds, the world is just this. Two people who almost lost each other, holding on. Then reality crashes back. He got away. Elena mumbles into his jacket. Marcus pulls back, and he smiles, dark, predatory, victorious. He holds up a silver flash drive. The kind you put on a keychain, brushed metal, expensive. What is that? It fell out across his pocket when he ran. He was so terrified of dying, he dropped his life's work. Marcus helps her stand. She kicks off her heels. Barefoot now, the marble cold against her feet. Let's go home. We have some reading to do. Sirens wail in the distance, growing louder. Police, fire department, FBI probably. Marcus does not seem concerned. He takes off his jacket, drapes it over Elena's shoulders. It is still warm from his body. Smells like him. Victor, clean this up, Marcus says, not even looking at the bodies. The usual channels. I was never here. She was never here. Understood, boss. Marcus takes Elena's hand, leads her through the smoke, through the destroyed door, out into the rainy October night. His car is waiting, engine running, door open. He helps her inside, closes the door. The soundproofing cuts off the sirens immediately. They drive in silence. Elena watches the city blur past, neon reflecting off wet pavement, people walking under umbrellas, normal people living normal lives. She wonders if she will ever be normal again. Probably not. Thank you, she says quietly, for coming. Marcus reaches over, takes her hand, squeezes. Always. Aurelius Tower. War Room. 3:17 a.m. The atmosphere is suffocating. Marcus, Victor, and Elena are gathered around the main monitor. Rain lashes the windows. The city below is mostly dark. Just streetlights and the occasional car. The world is sleeping. They are hunting. The silver flash drive is plugged into an isolated system, not connected to any network, not touching the internet. Whatever is on this drive stays contained until they decide otherwise. The screen shows a simple login prompt. Black background, white text, blinking cursor. No hint, no forgot password option, just a field waiting for input. Below the field, one line of text. The origin of the lie. Victor slams his fist on the desk. It's encrypted. A ES-256-bit military grade. Would take a quantum computer 100 years to brute force this. And we have one attempt, Marcus adds, looking at the screen. One wrong password and the drive wipes itself. Everything gone. Elena has been staring at the prompt for 23 minutes. She still wears Marcus's jacket over her ruined dress. Barefoot, hair falling out of its careful styling. Makeup smudged. She looks like someone who survived a war. She probably did. The origin of the lie, she repeats, voice distant, thinking out loud. It's a riddle. Cross thinks he's smarter than everyone, always did. Used knowledge as a weapon. Can you crack it? Marcus asks. I don't know. Elena stands, paces, her mind cycling through everything she knows about Vincent Cross. 5 years of lectures, hundreds of office hours, the way he spoke, the phrases he favored, his obsessions. He taught that the first great financial lie wasn't about bonds, she says. It was about a mistranslation. The Medici Bank, 1492. A zero was added to a balance sheet to hide a deficit. He called it the golden error. She types GOLDEN space ERROR. Hits enter. Access denied. Damn. Elena runs her hands through her hair, pulls pins out, lets it fall loose. Think. Think like him. He killed your father over Sicilian bonds, Marcus says, standing behind her, hand on the back of her chair. He tried to sell me Sicilian bonds. His obsession is Sicily. Elena's eyes widen. The fake bond, the one Julian tried to sell you, it had a specific date, October 14th, 1947. So? October 14th, 1947 was the day the Regional Assembly of Sicily passed the vote on the special statute. The law that gave the island autonomy. She is talking faster now. Pieces connecting. But Cross always argued in his thesis that the vote was rigged, that the statute was illegitimate. He had this phrase, called it the bastard statute. She types in Italian, LO space ST, ATUTO space, BASTA, Ardo. Access denied. One attempt remaining, the screen warns in red text. Incorrect password will result in complete data erasure. The room goes silent. The pressure is physical, crushing $150 million. The evidence of her father's murder, their lives, all hanging on one phrase, one password, one chance. Elena closes her eyes, forces herself to breathe, to think, to remember. The restaurant, the moment she saw the forgery, the grammatical error that let her spot the fake. He used the wrong dialect. A garanzia duddy instead of pie garanti duddy. She opens her eyes, looks at Marcus. He didn't make a mistake. On the bond, the wrong dialect. It was deliberate. His signature, a hidden mockery of the people he was scamming. Marcus is watching her, waiting, trusting. The password isn't the truth, Elena says. The password is the lie itself. The grammatical error, his mark. She types slowly, carefully. A space GARANZIA space DUT to Y. Her finger hovers over enter. This is it. Either she is right or they lose everything. She presses the key. The screen goes black. For 3 seconds, nothing happens. Elena's heart stops. She got it wrong. It is over. Then the screen flashes green. Access granted. Files cascade down the monitor. Folders within folders. Years of work. Decades of crimes. All organized, cataloged, archived, because Vincent Cross could not help himself. Could not resist documenting his own genius. Bank accounts in the Caymans, Switzerland, Monaco, Singapore. $340 million hidden across 4 continents. A folder labeled payoffs. Inside are wire transfer receipts. Senator Arthur Sterling, $12 million over 3 years. Dates, amounts, purposes. Secure FBI investigation delays. Provide advance warning of audits. Block extradition requests. Another folder. Blueprints, how to forge bearer bonds. Step-by-step instructions. Chemical formulas for aging paper. Recipes for period-accurate ink. Templates for stamps that no longer exist. A client list. 47 names, dates, amounts. Some of the wealthiest men in the world. Politicians, CEOs, cartel leaders, all of them scammed. All of them too embarrassed or too implicated to report it. And at the bottom, one folder, loose ends. Marcus clicks it. Inside are video files, surveillance footage, blackmail material, insurance policies in case any of his victims decided to talk. The most recent file is labeled Palermo 2013 Final. Elena stares at it. Her hands are shaking. I don't know if I can watch this. Marcus's hand closes over hers. Warm, steady. You don't have to. We have enough evidence to destroy him. You don't need to see. But she does. She needs to see the face of the man who killed her father, needs to know. After 10 years of nightmares and questions and grief, she needs the truth. Play it, she whispers. Marcus hesitates, then double-clicks. The video opens. Grainy surveillance footage. Black and white. Date stamp in the corner. October 11th, 2013. 11:47 p.m. A house. Her house. The one she grew up in. The camera is positioned across the street, probably on a rooftop. Professional setup. A man exits the front door. Even in grainy footage, she recognizes him. Younger, less gray, but the same build, the same walk. Professor Vincent Cross. He stands on the front step, lights a cigarette, checks his watch, casual, unhurried. Behind him through the open door. Orange glow, smoke. The house is burning. Cross turns, looks back inside. The audio is poor, but Elena can hear it. A man screaming, her father screaming, begging for help, for mercy, for his daughter. Cross just smokes his cigarette, watches, waits. After 53 seconds, the screaming stops. Cross drops the cigarette, crushes it under his shoe, walks to a car parked at the curb, gets in, drives away. The video ends. Elena sits frozen. She cannot move, cannot breathe. For 10 years, she imagined this moment. But imagination is nothing like reality. Nothing like seeing it, knowing it, having proof. A sound escapes her throat, not quite a sob, not quite a scream. Something raw and broken and furious. Marcus pulls her into his arms. She collapses against him. Does not cry, cannot cry. The grief is too big for tears, too old, too deep. Victor quietly leaves the room, gives them privacy. They sit like that for a long time. Marcus holding Elena, Elena holding the pieces of herself together. The war room silent except for rain against glass. Finally, Elena pulls back, wipes her eyes. Her face is set, hard, determined. Send the financial files to the FBI, she says, anonymously. Destroy Sterling's career, ruin him. Marcus nods. And Cross? Elena looks at the monitor, at the most recent file in the folder. Travel plans. She clicks it. A flight itinerary appears. Private charter, Teterboro Airport, 5 a.m. departure, non-extradition country. Cross is running. He's not going to prison, Elena says. Her voice is steel. He has too many connections, too much money. He'll disappear. Start over somewhere new. Marcus stands, walks to the weapons cabinet. Then we stop him before he gets on that plane. I'm coming with you, he turns. Elena, this will be violent. I'm not arresting him. I'm not calling the police. You understand what that means? I understand. She stands, walks to the cabinet, looks at the guns, the knives, the tools of violence. He killed my family. I've spent 10 years running from him. I'm not watching on a monitor while you end it. She picks up a pistol, Glock 19, standard, reliable, holds it like she has been taught. Both hands, proper grip. She does not look comfortable. Looks like someone holding something dangerous that they do not want to touch, but must. If you come, Marcus says, his voice is serious. Final. You do exactly what I say. No heroics, no improvisation. We end this and we walk away. Together. Together, Elena repeats. Marcus takes the gun from her hands, checks the chamber, confirms the safety, hands it back. Victor, he calls. His bodyguard appears instantly. Get her a vest. We're going hunting. Teterboro Airport, private airstrip, 4:47 a.m. The airport is desolate, just wet asphalt and strobe lights cutting through pre-dawn mist. A Gulfstream G650 sits on the tarmac, engines already spinning up. High-pitched whine cutting through the rain. Stairs extended. Door open, ready for immediate departure. Marcus's Maybach does not slow down, does not stop at the gate. Just crashes through, barriers shattering, alarms screaming. The car accelerates, drives straight at the nose of the plane. At the last second, Victor swerves. Tires shrieking. The Maybach slides sideways, blocks the runway. Nothing is getting past. Nothing is taking off. Before the car even stops, Marcus is out. Rain soaking him instantly. Plastering his hair to his forehead, he raises the MP5, aims at the plane's cockpit. Cut the engines! The pilot sees the weapon, the tactical gear. The expression on Marcus's face makes the smart choice. The turbines wind down. The whine fades to silence. Just rain now, just wind. At the top of the stairs appears Professor Vincent Cross. He is holding a leather briefcase. The physical backup, his insurance, decades of work in portable form. He looks down at Marcus. Then he sees Elena stepping out of the car behind him. She is wearing body armor over her ruined dress, hair wet, makeup gone, gun in both hands, not shaking anymore. Not afraid. Cross's face goes through several emotions. Surprise, fear, calculation, then settles on resignation. It's over, Cross, Elena yells. Her voice carries over the wind, strong, clear. The FBI has the ledger. Sterling is already in custody. You have nowhere to land. Cross stands at the top of the stairs, looking down at them. King on a crumbling castle. He laughs, manic, broken, the laugh of a man who knows he has lost but cannot quite believe it. You think I care about Sterling? Cross shouts back. I have accounts in 47 countries, places the FBI can't even find on a map. You can't stop me, Elena. I am the architect of this world. You are just a footnote. He reaches into his jacket. Marcus tenses, finger on trigger, ready. But Cross does not pull a gun. He pulls a small black device. Remote detonator, thumb hovering over the button. Don't, Marcus warns. Cold, lethal. Whatever you're thinking, don't. Cross holds the detonator high, where they can see it. If I go, the evidence goes with me. The plane is rigged. One click and this briefcase burns. All the proof of who killed your father. Gone. Forever. He looks at Elena. Let me leave, child. Let me disappear. And you can keep your little romance with this criminal. Stop me and you lose the truth. You'll never know. Never have closure. Never find peace. Marcus looks at Elena, the question in his eyes. This is her choice, her closure, her justice. He will not take the shot if it means destroying what she needs. Elena stares up at Cross, at the man who has haunted her nightmares for a decade. The ghost she has chased across oceans, the monster under her bed made flesh. She thinks about her father, about justice, about revenge. She lowers her gun. "You're lying," she says. Her voice is calm, certain, clear. Cross blinks. "What?" "You're lying." Elena steps forward, rain soaking through her vest, through her dress, through everything. "You're a narcissist, Professor. You spent 40 years building your reputation, documenting every scam, every dollar, every victory." She keeps walking, closer to the stairs, to him. "You archived everything. You couldn't help yourself. Your ego wouldn't let you destroy your own legacy. You're too proud." Cross's face twitches. Micro-expression. Fear. "You didn't rig the plane to blow up the evidence," Elena continues. "You're holding a garage door opener, or a car alarm, something harmless, because you could never destroy your life's work." She raises her gun again, aims at him. Steady. "You're bluffing, and we both know it." For 3 seconds, Cross stands frozen, his bluff called, his mask cracking. Then rage takes over. Where animal fury at being outsmarted by a student, a waitress, a footnote. He throws the fake detonator at them, reaches for the real gun in his waistband. Clumsy, desperate, a scholar playing soldier. He is too slow. Elena fires first. The shot is wide, deliberate, hits the metal railing next to Cross's hand. Sparks fly. The sound echoes across the empty runway. Not a kill shot, but it terrifies him. Cross stumbles backward, trips over his own feet. The gun falls from his hand. He tumbles down the metal stairs, crashes onto the wet tarmac, lands in a heap at Marcus's feet. Marcus stands over him, looks down with cold indifference, kicks the gun away. It skitters across the asphalt, out of reach. Cross groans, clutches his ribs, probably broken, definitely bruised. He looks up at Elena walking toward him, the student who became the master, the prey who became the hunter. "Please," Cross wheezes, blood on his lips. "Elena, I was just a middleman. I can give you bigger names, politicians, bankers, cartel leaders. I can testify, I can help you." Elena looks down at him, sees a pathetic old man in a wet tuxedo, bleeding on a runway. All his power gone, all his intelligence useless. Just another criminal who got caught. She feels nothing, no satisfaction, no joy, not even anger anymore. Just emptiness where hatred used to live. "I don't need your names," she says quietly. "I have the ledger. I have the video. I have everything." She turns to Marcus. "I'm done with him." Marcus nods, grabs Cross by the collar, drags him toward Victor, who is waiting with zip ties. Cross tries to resist. Too weak, too broken. Victor secures him. Professional, efficient. "The FBI will be here in 5 minutes, Marcus says to Cross, not looking at him, looking at the city lights in the distance. "You're going to spend the rest of your life in a cell, explaining how a waitress outsmarted you, how a 24-year-old girl with a linguistics degree took down your entire empire." He turns back, smiles. "Enjoy prison, Professor. I hear the academics don't do well there." Cross just whimpers, broken, finished. Marcus walks to Elena, takes the gun from her hands, tucks it into his belt, cups her face, wipes the rain from her cheeks. His touch is gentle now. No longer the predator, just a man looking at a woman he admires. "You didn't kill him," Marcus says, sounding impressed, proud. "He's not worth the bullet." Elena's voice is steady, strong. "And besides, I have a thesis to finish." Marcus laughs, genuine, warm. The sound breaks the tension of the moment. He kisses her, fierce, claiming. Right there on the runway as red and blue lights flood the scene. Police cruisers screaming toward them. FBI, ATF, Homeland Security probably. The entire alphabet soup of federal law enforcement. "Forget the thesis," Marcus whispers against her lips. "I have a better job offer." "Does it involve waitressing?" "No." Marcus takes her hand, leads her back to the car, away from Cross, away from the past, towards something new. It involves running an empire. They drive away as the police arrive, as Cross is taken into custody, as the sun starts to rise over New York, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. Elena watches the city wake up, thinks about everything that has changed in 6 weeks, everything she has lost, everything she has gained. She is not innocent anymore, not invisible, not a victim. She is something else now, something harder, something dangerous, and she is not sure if that is good or bad, but she is alive. Her father's killer is caught. The truth is known. Maybe that is enough. 6 months later, April 28th, 2024, the Obsidian Room is packed on a Tuesday night, every table full, waiters moving between diners with practiced grace. The kitchen sends out dish after perfect dish. Wine flows, conversations murmur, money changes hands in quiet corners. Table 9 is occupied. Marcus Leone sits across from Elena Torres. But she is not Elena Torres anymore. The name on her new driver's license says Elena Leone, Mrs. Marcus Leone. The ring on her finger says the same thing, 3 carats, platinum, simple, elegant, expensive. They married in May. Small ceremony, city hall, just Victor and 2 other witnesses. No family, no press, no spectacle. Just 2 damaged people choosing each other, choosing to try. Elena is not wearing an apron tonight. She wears a structured white blazer, tailored perfectly, hair loose and glossy, Cartier watch, wedding ring. She looks like she belongs here, at this table, in this world, because she does. She reviews a contract for a Mediterranean shipping merger, red pen in hand, circling clauses, making notes. Her scholar brain now appealed to legitimate business, mostly legitimate. The syntax in paragraph 4 is ambiguous, she says, not looking up. They're trying to hide a tariff loophole. We reject it. Marcus takes a sip of wine, watches her with unabashed pride. Ruthless, Mrs. Leone. I learned from this best. She winks, closes the contract folder. A young waiter approaches, nervous, trembling slightly, holding a water pitcher. He looks at Marcus with fear. Everyone still knows who Marcus Leone is, what he does, what he is capable of. Elena gently places her hand over her glass, smiles warmly at the waiter. Kind, patient. It's okay, she says. Just breathe. You're doing fine. The waiter relaxes slightly, pours water, his hands still shake but less. And watch the grammar on the specials board, Elena adds. You misspelled prosciutto. 2 T's, not 1. The waiter blinks, smiles nervously. Thank you, ma'am. I'll fix it. He walks away. Elena watches him go, sees herself 6 months ago, invisible, terrified, desperate. So much has changed. Professor Vincent Cross is serving 3 consecutive life sentences at ADX Florence. Supermax, 23 hours a day in solitary. No contact, no communication, no hope of parole. Senator Sterling resigned in disgrace, facing his own trial, 32 counts of corruption. The FBI never connected Marcus to any of it. Anonymous tips, clean evidence chains, no fingerprints, no traces. The Teflon print strikes again. Elena finished her PhD in March. Columbia reinstated her. Full scholarship. Apologies from the department. Her thesis on Sicilian administrative dialects was published. Received academic awards. She is Dr. Elena Leone now. But she spends most of her time working with Marcus, restructuring the family business, finding legal channels for illegal money, transitioning the empire from blood to boardrooms. It is slow work, dangerous work. The old guard resists. But Marcus is patient, determined, and Elena helps, uses her analytical mind to spot opportunities, loopholes, leverage points. The other families call her La Professoressa. They respect her, fear her a little, which is exactly right. Marcus reaches across the table, takes her hand. The touch is familiar now, comfortable, safe. She still has nightmares sometimes, about burning houses, about guns pressed to foreheads, but he is always there, holding her, reminding her that she survived, that they both survived. Victor approaches the table, leans down, whispers in Marcus's ear. Marcus's face goes serious, not angry, just focused. He looks at Elena. We have a problem. The Corsicans in Marseille. They're asking questions about Cross. Want their cut of the 340 million. Elena closes her contract folder. All business. The French connection. Cross mentioned them in the interrogation. They want to negotiate, or they want war. Elena stands, straightens her blazer, checks her watch. Then we negotiate, or we eliminate. Marcus stands too, smiles, the predator smile, the one that still makes her heart race. God, I love you. I know. Elena takes his hand. Come on, we have work to do. They walk toward the exit together. Equal partners, matched predators, the waitress and the mobster, the scholar and the killer, the damaged and the dangerous. The other diners watch them go, whisper, wonder, but none of them know the truth. None of them know what it took to get here, what it conni, what was lost, what was won. Elena thinks about her father sometimes, wonders what he would say. Would he be proud that she found his killer? Or ashamed that she married a criminal? Would he understand the choices she made? The compromises? The sacrifices? She will never know. But she hopes he understands. Hopes wherever he is, he sees that she survived, that she is not a victim, that she took the pain and rage and grief and transformed it into something else, something powerful. Knowledge was her weapon. Truth was her ammunition. And she won. Outside the restaurant, the rain has started again. New York in April, unpredictable, temperamental, beautiful. Marcus's car is waiting. Door open, engine running. He helps her inside, follows. The door closes. Soundproofing cuts off the city noise. Just the two of them, together. Do you ever regret it? Marcus asks, looking at her, really looking. Choosing this life, choosing me. Elena thinks about it, really thinks. 6 months ago, she was invisible, broken, powerless. Now she is powerful, visible, whole. But the cost was her innocence, her clean conscience, her illusions about justice and morality and right and wrong. No, she says finally, I don't regret it. I regret what happened to my father. I regret the years I spent afraid. But this, she takes his hand. This I chose, and I would choose it again. Marcus kisses her knuckles. Good, because I'm not letting you go. I know that too. The car pulls away from the curb, into traffic, into the city, into whatever comes next, because there will always be something next. Another threat, another deal, another crisis. That is the nature of their world. But they will face it together, the waitress who knew too much, and the monster who learned to love her. Elena looks out the window, at the city lights reflecting off wet pavement, at the people walking under umbrellas, at the world that tried to break her and failed. She smiles. Some stories end with happily ever after. Some stories end with justice served. Some stories end with the good guys winning. This story ends with survival, with two damaged people finding each other in the darkness, with knowledge becoming power, with a waitress becoming a queen. And sometimes, Elena thinks, that is enough. Sometimes survival is the victory. Sometimes choosing your own monster is better than letting monsters choose you. Sometimes the gray area between right and wrong is the only place where broken people can heal. She learned that from her father. He taught her about knowledge, about truth, about the power of understanding. But she learned the rest herself, through fire, through fear, through choosing to jump instead of staying invisible. Her name is Elena Leone. She was a waitress. She was a student. She was a victim. Now she is something else. Now she is free. And her story is just beginning, the end.